What if everything you think is harmless entertainment is quietly stealing your time, your focus, and even your happiness? What if every scroll, every tap, every little notification isn't just a distraction, but a carefully designed trap keeping your mind restless and your heart unfulfilled? Imagine this: the likes, the comments, the endless feed, they give you tiny bursts of joy, but they also train your brain to crave more, to compare more, to never be satisfied. And what if I told you that this isn't just about wasting hours? It's about slowly rewiring the way you think, feel, and connect with the people you love. Right now, you are living in a loop of instant gratification, fear of missing out, and shallow connections. And the scary part is, you might not even notice it. But here's the truth: once you see it, once you understand it, you gain the power to break free, to reclaim your attention, to reconnect with yourself and the world in a way that actually matters. So stay with me, because what I'm about to share will change the way you scroll, the way you live, and the way you feel forever. What if every time you unlocked your phone, your brain was secretly being trained without your permission? Every swipe, every tap, every scroll is not just passing time, it's rewiring the way you think, feel, and even crave happiness. Social media isn't just a harmless distraction, it's a sophisticated system built on one powerful force: instant gratification. That little buzz of dopamine you feel when someone likes your post or when a new video appears on your feed is your brain being gently hooked, like a fish nibbling at bait. It's tiny, it's subtle, but it's relentless. And the more you chase it, the less satisfied you become in the real world. Your mind is being conditioned to expect pleasure in bursts. One moment you're scrolling through a funny meme, the next you're watching someone else's perfect vacation. And each swipe is a mini reward, a tiny hit of joy. But here's the shocking part: it's fake satisfaction. Your brain thinks it's winning, but you're actually being trained to chase content instead of fulfillment. The anticipation of the next scroll creates an endless loop. You don't even notice the hours slipping by because your brain is addicted to the just one more illusion. The illusion that scrolling will make you feel complete. And what if I told you that this constant chase is silently teaching your brain impatience? Real achievements, real growth, real love, they take time, but your mind is now wired to demand rewards immediately. The more you scroll, the less tolerance you have for waiting, for discomfort, for effort. The habits that social media builds are invisible chains, subtle but strong. They mask themselves as harmless entertainment, while quietly rewiring your brain chemistry, making you dependent on external validation to feel alive, even momentarily. You begin to notice it in small ways. Your attention drifts faster, your focus fades, the satisfaction of completing a task is fleeting, and the urge to reach for your phone is constant. The very thing designed to entertain you is, in fact, training your brain to be restless, anxious, and perpetually unsatisfied. What if the moment you realize the power of that tiny dopamine hit, you could reclaim control over your mind and stop letting an app dictate your emotions, your attention, and your happiness? What if I told you that every time you scroll through your feed, you are being silently haunted by a fear you didn't even realize existed? That little twinge in your chest when you see friends at a party, colleagues achieving milestones, or strangers living a life that seems perfect. This is FOMO, the fear of missing out, and it's quietly hijacking your mind. It's not just a feeling, it's a psychological trap that keeps you endlessly scrolling, endlessly comparing, endlessly questioning your own worth. Every scroll is like a tiny reminder that maybe, just maybe, life is happening somewhere else without you. FOMO doesn't just make you curious, it makes you restless. It creates a silent tension, a gnawing sensation that you must keep up. You must see everything. You must never pause, because if you do, you might miss the one moment that everyone else will remember. And here's the shocking truth. That moment is often meaningless, edited, filtered, or exaggerated, yet your brain reacts as if it's real, triggering anxiety and an unquenchable desire to stay connected. You scroll not because you want to, but because you're afraid to stop, afraid that stopping means being left behind in a world that never slows down. The fear grows stronger with every notification, every story, every highlight reel of someone else's perfect life. Your mind becomes a radar constantly scanning for proof that you are not enough, that your life is somehow lacking. Even when you know logically that social media is curated, your emotions betray you. You can feel your heart race, your focus scatter, your peace erode, all because your brain is tricked into believing that missing out is the worst thing that could happen. And the most dangerous part? FOMO quietly steals your time and energy, replacing presence with obsession. You live for moments that aren't yours, and in the process, you miss the moments that truly are. You think you are connecting, but in reality, you are tethered to a loop of anxiety, comparison, and distraction. What if the moment you became aware of this fear, you could break the cycle, reclaim your attention, and start living for experiences that actually matter, rather than chasing the illusion that life is happening somewhere else without you? What if I told you that every time you pick up your phone, your brain is being rewired to crave something you barely even notice? That endless scroll, those short bursts of videos, the tiny likes and comments, they are not just passing time, they are training your brain to chase an invisible addiction. This is the power of dopamine loops, the hidden mechanism that keeps you hooked, not because you want to, but because your brain has been conditioned to need it. Every unpredictable reward, whether a funny video, a shocking post, or a random notification, creates a tiny surge of dopamine, the chemical that signals pleasure, and your brain begins to associate happiness with scrolling rather than real life. Here's the shocking part. Your brain thrives on uncertainty. It's not the content itself that is addictive, but the anticipation of what comes next. This unpredictable pattern makes your mind crave more, like a slot machine that you can't walk away from. You think you're choosing to scroll, but in reality, the system is choosing for you. Your attention is no longer your own, and with every swipe, you strengthen the habit, embedding it deeper into your daily routine. The more unpredictable the reward, the stronger the loop, the harder it becomes to resist. And what if I told you that these loops are silently shaping your behavior beyond social media? Your brain starts seeking constant stimulation, quick rewards, and instant validation in every part of life. The patience to focus on long-term goals, the calm needed for reflection, even the ability to enjoy boredom, all of it starts fading. You are being trained to live in the short bursts, the hits of pleasure that fade almost immediately, leaving you restless, anxious, and perpetually unsatisfied. The danger isn't just wasting time. It's that you are unknowingly teaching your mind to be addicted to distraction. Every moment spent scrolling strengthens the habit, and every time you try to stop, your brain protests, craving that chemical reward it has grown dependent on. What if the moment you recognize the power of these dopamine loops, you could step out of the cycle, reclaim your attention, and start rewiring your mind to find true fulfillment? Instead of chasing the fleeting pleasure of another scroll, another like, another momentary hit that never lasts. What if I told you that every time you pick up your phone to scroll, you are unknowingly giving away hours of your life to something that doesn't care about you? Each swipe, each tap, each endless scroll seems harmless, but it is silently stealing your most precious resource, time. Time that could have been spent learning, creating, connecting, or simply living fully is being quietly siphoned away, replaced by mindless loops of content that leave you drained and empty. The shocking truth is that the apps you use are designed to capture your attention, to hold it hostage, and you hardly even notice. Every notification is like a tiny thief, pulling you away from focus, from goals, from moments that truly matter. You plan to spend 5 minutes checking something, but suddenly an hour or more has vanished. You tell yourself it's just a break, but your brain has been conditioned to crave distraction, to resist stopping. This is not just wasting time, it's eroding your ability to concentrate, to produce, to achieve. Your attention span shrinks while the noise grows louder, and your potential is quietly slipping through your fingers. And what if I told you that this theft isn't just about lost hours, it's about lost opportunities? Every scroll is a chance missed to finish a project, to have a deep conversation, to practice a skill, or even to just rest your mind. You may not feel the impact immediately, but over weeks and months, The small stolen moments compound into a life that feels busier than it is, more chaotic than it needs to be, and emptier than it could be. Productivity isn't just about doing more, it's about doing what matters. And every minute spent trapped in the endless scroll is a minute stolen from your purpose, from your growth, from your fulfillment. The most shocking part is how invisible this theft is. You think you are entertained, informed, or connected, but in reality, your most valuable currency, time, is being drained. And yet, your brain doesn't protest, because the dopamine hits make the theft feel like pleasure, like reward, instead of loss. What if the moment you became aware of how much of your life you are giving away, you could take it back, reclaim your focus, and invest your time in things that actually move your life forward rather than watching it slip away in small, invisible bites? What if I told you that every time you scroll through your feed, you are slowly eroding your own happiness without even realizing it? Social media isn't just stealing your time, it's silently shaping your emotions, twisting your sense of reality, and quietly infiltrating your mental health. Every perfect photo, every highlight reel, every smiling face you see triggers a comparison inside your mind. You start measuring your life against curated moments, filtered images, and edited stories, and the result is subtle but powerful: anxiety, self-doubt, and an unshakable sense that you are not enough. The shocking truth is that these tiny, constant comparisons act like mental poison. Your brain begins to normalize dissatisfaction. Even the moments you should enjoy are interrupted by thoughts of, "I'm not doing enough," or "they have it better than me." The very tools designed to connect you are isolating you emotionally, leaving a gap between who you are and who you think you should be. And the more you scroll, the wider that gap becomes. Each session is like adding another layer of pressure, silently telling your mind that happiness is elsewhere, somewhere outside yourself rather than within your own life. And what if I told you that this impact isn't just temporary? Research shows that prolonged exposure to these curated lives increases the risk of depression and chronic anxiety. Your brain starts craving validation in the form of likes, comments, and shares, while the real satisfaction of achievement, presence, or genuine human connection fades. You become dependent on external approval to feel alive, and every moment spent offline feels like a void. A fear of missing out on the next dopamine hit, the next highlight, the next illusion of perfection. Even more shocking is how invisible this damage is. You might scroll thinking you're relaxing, escaping, or entertaining yourself, but inside your mental health is quietly deteriorating. The comparison, the judgment, the envy, they accumulate silently, shaping the way you perceive yourself and the world around you. What if the moment you realize the true cost of every scroll, every like, every second spent lost in someone else's curated life, you could reclaim your mind, protect your mental health, and start nurturing genuine joy, presence, and self-worth instead of surrendering it to an endless digital mirror? What if I told you that the very platforms designed to connect us are secretly isolating us more than ever? Every notification, every message, every like creates the illusion of connection, making your brain believe you are part of a network, part of something meaningful. But the truth is, this connection is often shallow, temporary, and misleading. You might scroll through hundreds of posts, chat with dozens of people, or like a friend's photo, yet when the screen goes dark, the feeling of loneliness hits harder than before. You are surrounded by digital faces, but starved for real, tangible human interaction. The shocking part is that your brain can't easily tell the difference between real connection and this digital illusion. The dopamine hits from notifications mimic the emotional reward of genuine interactions, making you feel like you're socially fulfilled, when in reality, you are floating in a shallow pool of curated lives. Your mind starts to confuse scrolling with bonding, liking with loving, and messaging with meaningful communication. You are constantly busy, but your heart feels empty. And what if I told you that this illusion is quietly changing how you relate to the people around you? When the brain is satisfied with the surface-level stimulation of virtual connections, it loses patience with real conversations, empathy, and presence. You find yourself distracted in real moments, checking your phone even while someone is talking to you, because your mind has been trained to seek the constant, effortless hits of digital engagement rather than the deeper, slower reward of true human presence. Even more shocking is that this digital mirage can make you feel both connected and isolated at the same time. You scroll through a friend's highlight reel and feel included, but underneath a sense of emptiness grows. Your life starts to feel fragmented, filled with moments that look connected online but lack substance offline. What if the moment you realized that your sense of social fulfillment was being stolen, you could choose to step away, invest in real relationships, and experience the depth of connection that no app, algorithm, or feed could ever simulate? You are not failing to connect. You are being misled to believe that connection exists where it does not. And the moment you see through the illusion, you regain the ability to live, love, and bond in a way that truly nourishes your soul. As we've explored today, every scroll, every tap, and every notification is not just entertainment. It's shaping your mind, your time, your mental health, and even the way you connect with the world. Instant gratification, FOMO, dopamine loops, stolen time, mental strain, and the illusion of connection, they all work together quietly, invisibly, and powerfully. But here's the truth. Awareness is the first step to freedom. Once you see how these forces operate, once you recognize the patterns, you gain the power to choose. You can reclaim your attention, protect your mental health, invest in real relationships, and create a life that feels full, meaningful, and truly yours. Remember, your mind is not a playground for algorithms. It is your most precious asset. Use it wisely. Choose presence over distraction, depth over surface, and reality over illusion. You don't have to be controlled by the scroll. You have the power to break the loop, to live intentionally, and to focus on what really matters. So go forward with courage, awareness, and commitment. Take back your time, nurture your mental and emotional health, and build real connections that feed your soul. Every small choice to step away, to focus, and to live consciously is a victory, and it compounds into a life of purpose and fulfillment. Good luck on your journey of reclaiming your attention, your mind, and your life. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for taking the first step toward a more intentional, meaningful, and empowered life.